Israel and China are representing very few nations of the world who survived for thousands of years. The Chinese nation and the Jewish nation who is now in Israel both renewed their independence at the end of the 1940s. And so there is a lot of similarity. Both have gone underway under difficult conditions, financially, political isolation, the need to handle with their environments, exception worldwide, and both have done, as Mao said, a great leap forward. This was not simple at all. It entailed crises, but both countries are right now, with their respective size, China as a superpower, Israel as a local superpower, in the forefront of technology, in the forefront of economic capabilities, military capabilities, and yet some problems and issues they still have to face. In 1955, the ambassador to Burma at the time, who happened to be my grandfather as well, wrote David Ben-Gurion that Israeli policy towards China is incorrect. It is too much influenced by what Americans are thinking. China is a country that Israel must have political relations with, must recognize. He visited China. He saw that not everything that were said about the communist regime was correct. He saw the positive things that were done in China. He wasn't a communist himself. He was a good left political party member, and he recommended that Israel would have diplomatic relations with China, and he said that the Americans will understand it sooner or later, and this was 17 years before Kissinger. So today I'm very proud of seeing the relationship between Israel and China. Israel understands the importance of China, which it didn't understand in the 1950s and 60s, and China also understood the importance of Israel. Following the 1950s, there were no relations, and it wasn't because of Israel. So just like my grandfather identified China, this institution also identified China as a most important factor in Israel's national security. We deal with national security and the strategic influence of China and what is happening in the Middle East as a focal point and in the world at large cannot be disregarded. And so we understood that in global economy, in the world, transportation, infrastructure, the relationship between superpowers, the Middle East, cyberspace, space itself, China is a very serious player. We also identified that the knowledge infrastructure about China is not enough. Regarding the fields that we touch upon, how does China think strategically? How does China plan its foreign policy, its economy? And we have to develop more knowledge about China. So we have put together a program here in the institution with a very generous assistance of the Glaser Foundation from California, and with the assistance of Israel Institute. And currently the China program is one of the leading programs here at INSS, and it is unique to Israel. We bring here people who deal with China in all sectors, whether it is government, whether it is private, issues of security or economy. It started out with Ambassador Oded Elran. Asaf Orion joined in, who retired from the IDF. And since here everything is done in groups of 3, we posed Ambassador Matan Vilnai as well, who came back from China with a lot of knowledge. We're very happy to have these 3 people, each with their own particular point of view. They're leading this program exceptionally well. The strategic goal of Israel with China is to hold relationship that will promote both countries in the fields where we see mutual benefit. And today, and this is why we're going to start out with the remarks of the Minister of Economy, we identify the field of economy as the most meaningful area where China and Israel can move forward, whether it is capital, markets, commerce, etc. Everything has to be done while professionally looking into the limitations and looking into the trade-off between advancing and problems that could come up. And we're not trying to ignore any problem. We have to maintain Israel's competitive edge, our ability to be leaders in innovation, in startups. China's will to learn from Israel is respected, it's legitimate, it's a good thing, and China wants to be the leader of innovation by 2049. We have to teach on the one hand, on the other hand we have to maintain our advantage, and this is a challenge. We have to keep Israel's strategic capabilities to remain independent. With all the Chinese investment in Israel, we have to be sure where is the point where we need to leave the core in the hands of Israel, particularly in strategic issues, and this is our specialty. And the elephant in the room is something I'm going to talk about. This is called the United States of America. The United States of America is putting limitations on China-Israel relationship, particularly where security issues are concerned. The United States is an ally of many, many years, our biggest ally, at times the only one. After China vetoes first time the UN Council, Security Council, regarding an Israeli decision, we might behave ourselves differently. But at this point, we have to be very attentive to what is being said in the United States. And I think that despite this limitation, there is a whole space of cooperation between China and Israel. However, things have to be done in a responsible manner while looking into each and every step of moving forward. This is the point of balance that we are testing and looking into here in the Institute. And ultimately, our outcome is recommendation for policies, a combination of the entire knowledge that Israel has regarding China, and I would like to thank everyone who's helping us, and we are receiving a lot of help, whether it is the experience and the knowledge of people who did business in China, stayed in China, studied China academically. I'm very, very happy to open this conference. I would like to thank Galia, without which nothing would have been done or would succeed as far as organization is concerned. Thank you. Enjoy.